How are we going, everybody? Now today is probably one of the few days that we've had decent weather for us to get outside and do some gardening, and I mean outside gardening, outside the veggie garden that is, because we are on 20 acres and I don't get to venture out enough. So I've been just brush cutting. So if you're wondering why all the green shavings on me like this, is because I've got the brush cutter here. I've been working around the dam here because we've planted here about a year ago. I can't remember exactly, I've got it written down somewhere. We planted here maples, olives, different maples and olive trees, alternating continuously all the way through the dam. And we had those really high winds and rains, and really with the weather that we've had, we haven't been able to clean up the grasses. So I took this opportunity today to do some brush cutting, a few hours of it in fact, and lawn mowing. So we've just brush cut around this one here, the Flamingo. Now this is a tree that I really love it. I just love the three colours that it has in it. See that sort of pinky reddy colour coming through there? And we've got that green in it, but it also goes to a white and green. So you've got a red and green and a white and green, and it's almost a olive, yellowy olive green sort of stem on it. You can see the colours, and they're the colours throughout the season. I dare say they're going to get more vibrant as it gets bigger, as a bigger tree. And I wasn't expecting it to survive. See, this dieback we got here, this is quite normal. Now, yeah, you can take it off now. I haven't got the right look. I'm using the anvils, and I shouldn't be. I should be using the bypass to get in there. You can leave them on or take them off like that neatly. That's just to protect it. But this one's not a bad example. This is actually a good example of the quality of the trees here. I think the Ace and the Gundos, which are more the large tree type of maples, do really well. And they're doing well. You can see this one here. Wait, let's just have a look at the olive. Suckering at the bottom. This time of the year, you're going to see a lot of this, not only on olive trees. You're going to see it on all fruit trees, citrus trees, every type of tree you can possibly have growing, especially the grafted variety. They're going to sucker up from the base. And the other one, remember these little ties? How they start to ring bark? Well, this one was just at the edge of its thread there. It's okay, we'll just take it off. Hasn't done any damage. Now this tree needs to be straightened up. I haven't done this one. It's going to be here. And we've done that one. Further down we'll have a look. Folks, the amount of rain and the cool weather we've had here, this place didn't have a lot of grass growing on it when we first got here. We were struggling to keep the lawns alive during the heat waves, and our dam was sitting at 30%. Now we've got grass up here. Now this is normally dry as a bone here. No grass, especially couch, nothing of the sort. But we have got grass up here, and it's thicker obviously down on the lower parts of the banks here. And have a look at the dam. Just take a look at the dam. Look how full it is. Beautifully calm and still. It is what I love about this place. It's the calmness of it, the wildlife. Here we go. Acer palmatum. A good friend of mine, Sue, who's been living in the neighbourhood for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, I think, said they don't like the soil here. Well, they certainly don't like the conditions. Soil, weather, this has all died off. But it's suckering up at the bottom. Now, yeah, it's going to heaven. It's not quite dead yet, but 80% there. So we just cut it off here. I've got to remove this part. And let the sucker take off from the base. Hopefully it does. I don't know if it will 100%. I've got some spare ones. I shouldn't say that. I've got some more trees growing in a little nursery down near the veggie garden. Now, they've been acclimatised. They've remained in the same pot. And I'm thinking of planting them up into a grow pot, a larger pot like the 400 or 500. Bring them out here, not yet, but they're still coming on, but bring them out here a little bit later on, so at least they've done a year and a half here, or 2 years on this property in their own pot with some quality potting mix like the Hal's range, and then digging a hole, planting the grow pot itself back into the ground. Maybe cut a few slits around the side so the roots can push through, but the fact it's a material, it will decompose, and the fact that it's going to be in the ground so there won't be any sunlight on the outside, because with those grow pots, the purpose of those is that you get constant airflow throughout the root system, because it breathes. The whole felt liner outside breathes, and that allows the roots to get a nice even growth. So when the roots do reach the edge, which they can penetrate through the material, sunlight burns it off, so they don't really get through. You may get one or two over the years to come, but nothing out of control. But when it goes in the ground, because there isn't any sunlight and it's surrounded by soil, those roots will grow right through and continue through. It won't be like a typical plastic pot where they wrap themselves around, the roots that is, whereas in the grow pot they all grow out evenly, and at the end everyone's happy. Not this one. Poor little thing. Here's the one that I did a demo a while ago in staking it up with 3 stakes. Well, this one here I'm using bamboo. See, this one's gone loose because it snapped. I'll tell you a little secret. I was brush cutting around the base here and I snapped the bamboo, so I've got to replace it. But for now I'll just tie it up so it doesn't fly off. So this is what we do with the 3-way stake. You can go 4 if you like, and basically pulling at opposite ends. It's not one continuous thread. For those who've seen this before, you can tune away for now. For those who haven't seen this before, folks, we've got 1, 2, 3 stakes, triangular formation. Each one pulls it in its own direction and tension it enough so that the tree stays vertically plumb. So we've got a nice vertical line on that. Even with the high winds, it hasn't moved, which is exactly what it needs to be doing. So that works a treat. And this one here, folks, well, this is going to be a monster. It's going to grow up to at least 15, 20 metres, I reckon. Easy. It's 2 metres, 2.5, 3. Well, I'm 2 metres tall. I like to think that. So that'd be 2.5, 3 metres tall there for you. And it's pushing on a lot of new growth at the base. All this has got to come off, folks. We don't need these suckers. Another one doing it. See what I mean? All this, remove it. So it pushes the energy at the top is where we need it here. Unlike a fruit tree, we want these to grow tall. We want the canopy on it. So then when we walk past around here, we can sort of take a breather under one of these, under the shade of it, and enjoy the natural wildlife around here. And the creek. Listen to it, the frogs and crickets. Folks, this is Bruce's Creek. A little bit of history on this. I don't know much about it actually. What I do know about it is that it's been running dry for a long time. At least the last 9 years. We've probably had it full a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. And I think it's been only in the times that we've been here in the last 4 years that this has run. And we've had white water running over the crossover where the rocks are. But look at it. I mean, we've got hay and straw and lucerne and all that coming in from the farms next door. And that's typical of what happens when they go to seed, so we're stuck with it. But you know, it almost reminds me of lavender. It's soft, it's subtle around the edges, and you got the spear grass there growing too. And it sits about 3 or 4 metres deep in the middle there. So it's got a bit of water in there. And this is what it is for me, folks. It's not just about vegetables and eating vegetables and fruit all the time. It's about plant life. It's the environment that I love, and I love being out here and connecting with it. Look, listen, you know, touch, feel, watch what's going on, analyze it, because as a whole, as a picture, it looks fantastic. But then when you do take the time to have a look at each individual plant, as I'm looking around, I can see struggling plant, dead plant, fallen tree plant. So we start from what you're looking at, trees fallen down, and we swing around to the pencil pines, and there's one dead one in the middle there, and to the left of that we've got another conifer or some sort that died as well, a tree there. And there are more over the other side, but this is what it is. They come, they go. This is what life is. We come from the earth, we grow up, we blossom, and then we crumble away back to dust again. And we're here to balance it all, and that's all we are, garden keepers, and that's what I do. So, folks, if you've got a friend, find a friend who's got a property like this, because I tell you something, we who own a property like this, all we do is work, and you can go over and enjoy it, but you don't have to work at it. So that's the luxuries of having someone you know like that. But look, at the end of the day, it's a pleasure to be out here, and I want you to enjoy, however big or small your garden space is, make the most of it. Get out there, plant one tomato if you can't plant 100, but do something rather than do nothing. It's all about balance in life, and you need the outdoor as much as you need your health and your responsibilities of survival. Check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasily, Maresi. Yes, as folks, the Yarra Valley Plant Fair and Garden Expo is on again this year. It was cancelled for October, but rescheduled for November the 20th and 21st. Put it in your diary. Check it out at yarravalleyplantfair.com.au. Heaps of plant stall holders, plants, garden products, tools, produce, and lots more for you to enjoy. I'm going to be there. Jane Edmondson's going to be there as well, giving you a live talk. Come down and say hello, meet everybody, and have a wonderful weekend. yarravalleyplantfair.com.au. From Eva Silly, Maresi, see you there.